it last night. It was Super Mario Chalmers of Kansas that hit the shot of the whole entire tournament. That three there sent the game into overtime, where the Jayhawks rallied to beat Memphis 75-68 to win the national championship. And what a game it was. But let's start here with the Texas Rangers. They held their home opener this afternoon against the Baltimore Orioles. The Rangers started this homestand at 3-3, but it was a tough start for the Rangers today. Here, bottom of the second, the pass ball will go by, and Milton Bradley thinks he's a little faster than he is, maybe, and he will get out at the plate. We'll go to the third inning, where Jason Jennings will give up the two-run home run to Luke Scott, and that will make it 4-0 Baltimore. It is not looking pretty, but here in the seventh inning, the Rangers will finally see some action. Ian Kinsler will get an RBI single, scoring David Murphy, but David Murphy is the lone run that the Rangers will score the whole afternoon. They fall hard, 8-1. They'll play the Orioles again tomorrow night. And back home, the UT Tyler Patriots baseballers are ranked 7th in the nation and have already clinched a spot in the upcoming AFC Conference Tournament. This is a big deal because it's the first time Coach James Valade and the Pats have been eligible for the postseason since starting up the program 5 years ago. UT Tyler is currently 10-2 in conference play, and if they can keep winning, they will get to play at home for their first-round series. And Coach Valade says that's been the game plan all season long.
Now, clinching early is great for our program. That was our ultimate goal this year, was to first sit out and try to clinch a spot in the playoffs, and now we're fighting for the best seed possible. Our guys are excited. The program's excited. The school's excited, and for the first time, hopefully in 2 weeks, we'll be hosting playoff baseball in Tyler.
And the top sporting events around just keep on coming right here to CBS 19. The NCAA tournament wrapped up last night, and golf's most prestigious tournament starts this week. It's the Masters, and it gets going this Thursday from Augusta National. Today, the players held their practice round. Tiger Woods will be shooting for his 5th green jacket and 14th career major championship. After getting off to a stellar start to 2008, Tiger says all that matters now is winning majors.
It's just another week. You have to put whatever happened behind you, whether you won or lost, and it's all about this week. And got to be focused and ready to come Thursday and get everything going the right way.
And the first round starts on Thursday on ESPN. Then on Saturday, CBS 19 will take over with live coverage starting at 2:30 and again at 1:30 on Sunday, along with the presentation of the green jacket. And with just 6 regular season games left to go, our Dallas Mavericks pretty much had to win at Phoenix this past Sunday to keep those playoff hopes alive. Let's check out the highlights. It was the first time the Mavs have faced Shaq as a Phoenix Sun, and he definitely made his presence known, getting the slam dunk there. And the Suns will keep on rolling, and they will be up 14 early with this 3 by Steve Nash. But Dirk Nowitzki, he's out there too, and he says, I'm better. I'm not letting this game get away, and he will drive in for the 3-point play the old-fashioned way. And that's not it for Dirk, as he will come in here with 30 seconds left in the game, losing his balance, but he hits the fadeaway shot. And that's the way the rest of the game looked for the Mavs, as they topped it off there 105-98. Dirk led with 32 points, and with Denver State losing, Dallas now has a 2-game lead for 7th in the Western Conference race. And that's a look at your sports for tonight. We'll see you tonight.
Our animal segment tonight starts off with our old pal Jack Hanna. Jack is a wonderful guy. He's got a great sense of humor, but this time he's with a bunch of camels. And I guess you could say he's sort of hanging by the seat of his pants.
Now, Jack's feeding the camels, but I don't think he knows how hungry these guys are.
What? Give me some more bread. Hurry up. That thing.
Hey, Jack, get out of there.
How do I get out of here? Good. Some more. See what you crazy do? It made me rip my pants.
Well, Vincent and I have had a man-to-Gosling talk, and I've tried to persuade him to get out more.
Joining us live now with more is News Channel 11's Emily Jones. Emily?
Karen and Abner, I think that our prairie dog Pete is trying to have his way with me at this point. This is our version of Puxatawny Phil. Okay, and Karen and Abner, we want to say thank you. He's pooping, I think. We want to say thank you to Walter's World of Pets for letting us dogs
So it's not as simple as the union just saying that private's bad and public's good.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, I think on this occasion we can actually look at the experiences that we have.
Now, here's a friendly cameraman with a not-so-friendly dog.
Sports Director Emily Jones is standing by. Emily, where does Tech go from here?
Well, Mandy and Abner, for the Red Raiders, it's their first NCAA tournament win since 1996. And for Tech head coach Bob Knight, 1999 was the last time he got a W in round one of the tourney. And Tech with a pretty balanced effort in their win today over Charlotte. A quick trivia question for those of you back in Lubbock. Where do 11 million people come a year to watch 75,000 gallons of water move per second? Give up? It's Niagara Falls, one of the greatest natural wonders of the world, and just a 20-minute drive from downtown Buffalo, New York. We, of course, are in this part of the country following the Texas Tech Red Raiders as they make their run through the NCAA tournament.
This is Emily from Lubbock Television, and she kind of knows what she's doing most of the time. Go ahead, Emily.
Wow. Welcome back to the Sports Zone on location tonight out at Dan Law Field. The Texas Tech baseball team back out on the diamond this afternoon, hosting Northern Illinois in game one of a three-game set here at the Law. There's an old Chicago Bears tale circa 1990 that goes something like this. The Atlanta Falcons were in Chicago, and before the game, the Falcons guaranteed a win. In response, Chicago cornerback Lemuel Stinson guaranteed not one, but 2 interceptions. Welcome back to News Channel 11's live community coverage tour 2003. We are in Floydada tonight to kick things off.
This is News Channel 11 Sports Zone with Emily Jones.
Welcome back. Well, it's getting down to the nitty-gritty in the NFL playoffs. Carolina and New England punched their tickets to the conference championship games yesterday and awaited their respective opponents today. We begin in the American Football Conference. Indianapolis and Kansas City playing for the right to play on next week at New England. Colts quarterback Peyton Manning had a perfect QB rating after last week's win over Denver, and this week it was more of the same. Opening drive, Manning hits Brandon Stokely wide open down the middle for the 29-yard touchdown. That put Indy up 7-0. The Chiefs would get on the board with a field goal. Then next Colts drive, they keep it on the ground. Edgerrin James from 11 yards out to make it a 14-3 ball game. James had 124 on the day with 2 touchdowns. Kansas City definitely made it interesting, though. Dante Hall with a 10-yard TD pass from Trent Green, but the Colts offense just too much. Peyton Manning almost perfect, 22 of 30 for 304 yards and 3 touchdowns as Indy goes on to win this one 38-31 in a game where neither team punted. So it's the Colts and Pats next Sunday in New England for the AFC title. Donovan McNabb and the Philadelphia Eagles looking for their 3rd straight appearance in the NFC title game. Hosting Green Bay, the Packers would jump out to an early 14-0 lead, but Philly comes back strong. 1:12 to go in regulation. Eagles trailing by 3 and facing a 4th and 26 when Donovan McNabb connects with Freddie Mitchell down the middle. Forward progress gives the Eagles a first down, and that would set up this, a 31-yard David Akers field goal, and we're headed to overtime. On the Packers' first play from scrimmage in OT, Brett Favre, who has been nothing short of marvelous as of late, throws it up for grabs, and Brian Dawkins is doing the grabbing. He would take it back inside the Green Bay 35, and it's Akers again, 31 yards again for the game winner. The Eagles advanced with a 20-17 overtime win. They host Carolina in the NFC Championship game next Sunday. The Texas Tech Lady Raiders are already #1 in the coaches poll, but in order to make it a clean sweep, Tech would need the Riders' top-ranked team, Duke, to drop a game. A prime opportunity this afternoon. The Blue Devils playing host to number 13 North Carolina. Tar Heels trailing by 3 with under 8 minutes to go, and Ivory Lotta showing a whole lot of range, hitting from way downtown to even the score. But North Carolina would score just 4 more points after that as Duke takes over down the stretch. The Blue Devils go on to win this one by 22, 79-57, so they'll likely hang on to that #1 ranking in the AP poll. We'll know for sure tomorrow. The Riders' #1 team on the men's side in action tonight. 6th-ranked Oklahoma visiting top-ranked UConn. Things not going the Sooners' way early and often. Johnny Gilbert misses the dunk right there, and on the other end, Emeka Okafor shows Johnny how it's done. UConn on top by 6 at that point. Okafor had 21 points, 10 boards, and 9 blocked shots, and the Huskies held OU to just 27% shooting, and they ran away with this one 86-59, handing Oklahoma its first loss of the season. Well, if you didn't make it out to the United Spirit Arena yesterday, you missed a heck of a show. Texas Tech went 2 for 2 with both the men and the women getting their wins in the first Big 12 openers against Oklahoma State. For Bob Knight and the Red Raiders, it was their 9th straight win, pushing them to 13-2 on the year and 1-0 in conference play. Tech now has the week off before heading to Baylor for Big 12 game number 2. In the meantime, we can relish the performance of senior guard Andre Emmett, who had a season-high 32 points last night. Dre now needs just 331 points to become Tech's all-time leading scorer. But perhaps a bigger accomplishment has already been reached, earning the praise of his toughest critic.
That stretch where we moved it out from whatever it was, 4 to 18 or 20 or whatever.
What a show, and equally as impressive yesterday was the play of the top-ranked Texas Tech Lady Raiders and senior guard Natalie Ritchie in particular. Ritchie scored a career-high 27 points and made a school record 8 3-pointers to lead Tech to a 106-43 victory in front of a sellout crowd at the United Spirit Arena. It gave the Lady Raiders their 15th straight trip to the win column this season. And after that game, I came to the conclusion that Natalie Ritchie is everything that's good about college athletics.
Renee Hanna, but I had that record, and
they don't get any better than Natalie Ritchie, and it doesn't get any better than yesterday at the United Spirit Arena. 8 straight hours there, and I wouldn't have rather been anywhere else.
What an awesome day for Texas Tech.
It was great. Good way to start.
She looked so happy, too.
She was very happy, to say the least.
All right, glad to have you here, Emily. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. In Texas, there's football season, spring football season, and the off season. Right now, we're smack dab in the middle of the latter. And if you've ever wondered what goes on behind closed doors over at Texas Tech this time of year, wonder no more. While most of Lubbock is just waking up, the Texas Tech football team is busy pumping up.
Just to see this many guys here this early at 5:45 in the morning, I mean, that really says something for the upcoming season. You know, you got guys that want to work hard and the guys that want to go all the way with it.
You could call them the early birds, 35 Red Raiders who start their day at 5:45 a.m. 4 days a week as part of Tech football's voluntary off-season program.
It's early, but we're taking it to the next level. We know in order to be great, we have to get up early. We get in there, we pump each other up, and we go in and we just give it all we got, knowing that coach, coach has to get up also. So we got to come and perform for him and do everything that we're supposed to do.
The man they're waking up early and working hard daily for, new football strength coach Benny Wiley.
We got a bunch of farm guys around here. They know if you don't sow it early, you're not going to reap it later. So you've got to put in the work now.
He's really got a way of getting in the guys' heads, and, getting them to do their best and getting that 100% out of them. Better.
And right now, that's exactly what he's getting. Whether it's intense weightlifting routines or unconventional yet carefully calculated drills, Benny is pleased with the early effort of the early birds.
Great start. I couldn't ask for anything better. Our guys were working so hard, so intense, a little bit different than they're used to, starting out a little bit harder than they're used to, but we don't have long. We only have 9 weeks.
So really for these guys and the rest of the Tech football team, the off season is anything but.
You have to work all year round and make sure you're in shape at all times, and right now there's no time for rest, and we just gotta push through.
This is when you win games. This is when you become great during all season. Depending on how hard you work, you're gonna determine how far you go in the next season.
You may have heard the old saying, the early bird gets the worm. Well, in this case, the early bird gets a happy coach.
I imagine by the end of the day, he's getting a little cranky, a little tired, and he wants to go home just like everybody else. So, like I said, this is the best time to work out, when he's feeling good and everybody else is feeling good.
You come back in the midday, he's ready to get after you a little bit, so you got to get up here early, and where he's good and ready to go, and that'll freshen out his sleep.
A cranky Benny is not bad.
A theory the early birds, and I for that matter, don't plan on testing. There's an old Chicago Bears tale circa 1990 that goes something like this. The Atlanta Falcons were in Chicago, and before the game, the Falcons guaranteed a win. In response, Chicago cornerback Lemuel Stinson guaranteed not 1, but 2 interceptions. The Bears won that game 30-24, and Stinson had 2 picks. Now, some 13 years later, Lemuel Stinson is back here at Texas Tech to make good on another guarantee.
My main thing was getting my degree and letting my grandmother see me walk. You know, she's been waiting for it.
15 years to be exact since the former Red Raider cornerback left Texas Tech for the ranks of the NFL, but without a college degree. He was taken in the 6th round of the 1988 draft and enjoyed a 9-year career in the league, but without a college degree.
When you're out there in the world, I mean, it doesn't matter if you play NFL football or whatever you've done and your profession and everything. When you go to look for a coaching job or something like that, they want to see your paper and your background and what you've done.
What this 37-year-old father of 4 has done is complete 56 hours of college coursework toward his exercise and sports science degree, with just one more class to go, Español. And barring a desastre, on August 9th, Lemuel Stenson will come through on a guarantee he made half a lifetime ago to himself and his grandmother.
I think she'll probably have tears in her eyes. I don't know. She probably smiled, and I know every football game I played in, she always had her hands over her eyes covered up, so she won't have her hands over her eyes. She'll probably be happy.
That's a guarantee. For News Channel 11 Sports, I'm Emily Jones.
Now, if you guys can't write on that, then you can't write on anything, so there should be no questions. But are there any questions?
Coach, Dave Bliss.
Emily, give me the $5, Randy. You want to give it to me? You want to give it to me now or later? Randy even thought you wouldn't ask a question the day after all that, and I said bullshit. I said, Randy, and I'll tell you what the bet was, Emily. You want to know what the bet was? You want to know how sure I was that you'd ask a question? The bet was 20-1. And Randy took $5 of it.
Wow. Are you going to split with me?
You're just lucky you're here. What's your question?
Coach Bliss talked about how they weren't able to take your team out of its game plan. Do you feel like you stayed within it offensively and or
we don't really have necessarily a game plan offensively.
Plenty of highlights and lowlights to fill you in on as we enter the second half of the college football season. And we get things going with what was, on paper at least, the biggest game of the day in the Big 12. Tight end Sean Ryan is back in camp after having a screw put in his injured foot. He should be back in practice within 4 to 5 weeks. Is it possible that steroid use was taking place within the clubhouse and you just didn't know about it, or do you feel like you had a keen enough sense of what was going on to know that there was no steroid use taking place?
No, I can't say that.
Both teams, of course, right where they want to be, undefeated headed into the Red River Shootout. We're now just 7 days away from that much-anticipated matchup at the Cotton Bowl. I would have asked you that if nothing would have happened last week. I wasn't referring to last week, I was referring to this game. One thing that's surely helped smooth any wrinkles, the fact that South Oak Cliff now has 20 members of a Wilmer Hutchins team that was ranked in the state's preseason top 5. Of course, the end result of that 2000 campaign was Oklahoma bringing home its 7th national title and all the hardware that goes along with it. And if in fact history is repeating itself, the Sooners just hope it holds true for one more game. The Aggies, meantime, have just one more shot at a bowl game. That comes the day after Thanksgiving at home against number 2 Texas. In Norman, Emily Jones for Hardcore Football. Good Saturday night, everybody, and welcome into the FSN studios for your Bushlight Southwest Sports Report. I am Emily Jones. He is Rick Renner, and for those of you experiencing college football withdrawals, we understand. Well, just like Cinderella, Carlos Beltran has until the clock strikes midnight Eastern time to decide if he wants to be a Houston Astro. If the deadline passes, per baseball rules, the Stros wouldn't be able to sign him until May 1st. And you can bet he won't be on the market then. In the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs looking to keep a hold on the league's best home record today, playing host to the Denver Nuggets. San Antonio just 3 wins shy of the 30-win mark coming into this one and battling the Suns for the first 1 to 30 title. Don't stop believing, Joe.
She's been singing that
Don't
stupid
stop
song
believing.
all night.
Hey there, and welcome to the FSN studios for your Bushlight Southwest Sports Report. Emily Jones alongside Kevin Eschefelder. We are always believing. We're here for the next half hours fresh off a Stars loss. That moves him to 5-4-1 on the year. And Kevin, Dallas continuing to dig holes they cannot dig themselves out of. Running back Julius Jones made his arrival in Dallas 2 years ago from Notre Dame via the 43rd pick of the 2004 draft. And he should be 23 games into his NFL career. Instead, he's got just 11 under his belt thanks to the injury bug. Jones got banged up in his rookie season debut, missing the next 8 games. And just 3 games into this season, Jones was back on the injured reserve with a high ankle sprain, causing some to question his durability, namely Bill Parcells. Elsewhere in the Bigs, Rangers pitching coach Oral Hershiser is one of 3 finalists to be the Dodgers' next manager. That's according to the Los Angeles Daily News. And the free agent market is officially open, and there are a couple of big-time veterans who have declared themselves available. To the surprise of few, Texas pitcher Kenny Rogers, not wanted back by the Rangers after throwing a temper tantrum and shoving 2 TV cameramen, has filed for free agency. And former Ranger Rafael Palmeiro is on the market after a tumultuous season in which he was suspended for steroids, denied using steroids, and then blamed a teammate for the whole mess. I bet their agents' phones are ringing off the hook as we speak. Well, thanks, John. We do appreciate it. And you know what they say? In the NBA, everybody makes a run, and apparently that is true in the All-Star game as well. The West up by 21 points, but the East comes back to win it, and they do it in a bit of dramatic fashion. Nice to see a little competitiveness. As John mentioned, the youngest MVP in NBA All-Star game history, LeBron James. He had 29 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists. He is quite a player. He was an NBA All-Starter for the 2nd year, and he right now is at the podium. We'll head downstairs and hear right now from LeBron. There you heard from him, the MVP of the 55th All-Star game, LeBron James, 29 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists. Welcome back to Celebrate Houston All-Star Edition, presented by Ford. Well, Dallas Mavericks star Dirk Nowitzki, he was a star last night. He won the 3-point shootout by a large margin, taking home that trophy. Followed that up with an all-right performance tonight, 15 points for Dirk, but it would not be enough. The East comes out on top in this one, 122 to 120.
Roaming the sideline, Emily Jones.
That is right, guys. It is a beautiful day for football. When you talk about the Converse Judson defense, a big part of their game plan will rest on the shoulders of number 7, Tony Harp. He is a senior, 3-year starter for the Rockets. He's also the team's leading tackler. He's racked up 151 tackles to go along with 5 interceptions on the year. Not bad, and he gets it done in other ways as well. Head coach Jim Rackley says he is the heart and soul of this team. And you know what? Harp is going to need both if he and the Rockets want to put a stop to that Euless Trinity ground game that's racked up close to 5,000 yards this season.
Let's go down to Emily Jones.
Well, guys, I talked to Springdale head coach Gus Malzahn before the game, asked him if there were any injuries he was concerned about. He mentioned Andrew Norman, said he separated his shoulder in a scrimmage last week. Wasn't sure if he was going to be able to go. He had practiced here and there, but Andrew really wanted to play. And, of course, when you've got a best friend like Mitchell Mustaine, things tend to work out for you. He's had 1 rush for 8 yards so far and 3 catches for 52. Looks like that best friend combo and the quarterback-receiver combo headed to Arkansas. Houston Nutt's going to have a lot of fun with those 2.
Let's go to Emily Jones.
Well, the Sam Houston State defense is giving up 427 yards per game, but defensive coordinator Dwayne Dirk says it may sound crazy as heck, but the morale is good. You've got to take into consideration that they've played 2 Division 1A opponents in Texas Tech and Houston that are ranked number 3 and number 16, respectively, in the national rankings as far as total offense is concerned. And that Bearcat defense sure is being stingy tonight. You ready for this?
Yes, it is. You.
I know what you're thinking. I've lost my mind, and maybe I have, but after years of covering pro days at schools across the Southwest, I wanted to see how I would fare as an NFL hopeful. So I enlisted the help of former Aggie safety Jackson Appel, who is currently training for Texas A&M's pro day.
Now this one looks like this.
And the guy getting him ready, Brian McCall of IAD in Carrollton, just outside of Dallas.
I wasn't really sure what to expect. I just wanted to know what type of athletic background you had, if you're an athlete.
I was a cheerleader. Okay, it's not football, but I like to consider myself somewhat athletic.
It's a lot more difficult than most people think it is, and they just see us play on TV and things like that, and they're like, oh, well, I could do that, you know, and then they coach us from the sidelines or Monday morning quarterback.
Opposite arm, opposite leg? Just like the real NFL hopefuls, during my pro day, I was evaluated in the following events: bench press, 40-yard dash, vertical jump, broad jump, and shuttle.
Resistance.
But before I showed off my athletic prowess, there was training to be done.
I'm trying.
go. Try to make it to the 1 yard line right there. Try to make it to the hash mark. It's tough.
It's just more drill specific because you're just simply training for the 40, the vertical, the 5-10-5, the bench press and things like that. So you're not really training to become a better football player at this period of time right now. You're training to do well at the combine in 3 days.
That's what we're training for. We're doing all these different things. We're modifying the vertical jump in different aspects and all these performance tests that we're just trying to get 1 or 2 inches. We're trying to cut his time down maybe 0.2. And it's so important at that level to just separate yourself just a little bit.
It didn't take long for me to realize there's very good reason as to why Jackson's been playing college football for the last 4 years, while I've been talking about it.
That's good.
And it didn't take long for me to realize the rubber band is not my friend.
I feel like the most uncoordinated person alive.
I also learned...
Whoops. Oh my Lord, it's a little bigger.
The bigger the medicine ball, the harder and quicker it falls.
I really did try. That's the thing. I think I probably have a hernia.
Nonetheless, my pro day must go on.
I'm getting serious. Time to get serious.
Now the vertical jump.
There you go.
Well, let's just say they could have made a movie about me called White Women Can't Jump. I managed to get just 16 inches off the ground. Moving on, I managed 5 feet 4 inches in the broad jump, if you can call that broad. Next, the 5-10-5 shuttle. I scorched the artificial turf with a blazing time of 5.80. Then came the main event.
Like, what do you think?
6 seconds.
I think I could break 6.
Easy. Come out pretty nice on your start. Smooth out.
I came up lame in my first run, but sometimes you just gotta play hurt. I shook it off and ran a 6.49, almost a half second over my goal.
6:49.
Very disappointed with that effort. So Jackson thought a little competition might get my time down. And it did, a little bit.
Be honest. What'd you think?
No, I was very impressed. You moved extremely well. You weren't moving really fast, but when you were moving very fluidly, and you definitely have some athletic ability. I was very impressed.
You overexceeded my expectations for sure. You had a lot of athleticism in you. It's untapped. You got a lot of potential left in you.
I made it. But some things are better left untapped.
I think she's gonna take it down.
With what little shame I have left, Emily Jones for your Busch Light Southwest Sports Report.
25.
Welcome back to Lincoln, Nebraska. The Cornhuskers on top by a score of 35-10. We are inside the new facilities, the new suites here in Lincoln, and one of the Nebraska Cornhuskers' biggest fans is Larry, the cable guy. Larry, what do you think about this?
Well, I tell you what, this is a blast. We got, you know, I grew up here in Nebraska, lived here 16 years, and moved to Florida, but I've only been to 4 games, and now I was able to get one of these suites. I got a good deal on it. It's $400 a month, but I got to bring my own cooler, so, but it was worth it. We're having a blast out here today.
Now, I understand you've made it out to some Cornhusker practices. You're kind of getting yourself familiar with the team?
Yeah, you know what, I went out. They needed a pulling guard, so I come out and kind of tried out for it, but I hurt my ankle within the first 20 seconds. But no, I went down and did some jokes for the team, and it was just a thrill. You know, I can perform in front of 10,000 people, but the minute I got in front of that team, I was like, blah, blah, blah. I didn't know what to say. It was just such a thrill. So, yeah, I'm a big Husker fan.
Well, the Huskers are going to get her done.
Get her done, baby, get her done.
And there it is, that famous phrase. Say it one more time.
Get her done.
And the Huskers got her done just now with a touchdown. Guys, send it back up to you.
All right, don't have too much fun up there. Brandon Jackson got her done.
The brand spanking new Dallas Cowboys Stadium in Arlington, the site of this regular season finale between Texas Tech and Baylor. The Bears not going bowling, but Art Briles' bunch is treating this as a bowl game. Meantime, the Red Raiders are going to the postseason yet again and looking to bolster their bowl positioning. It is the Red Raiders and the Bears, and we've got it for you next on Big 12 College Football Saturday.
Emily is downstairs with Mike Leach.
Guys, thank you very much, Coach Leach. I know this probably isn't how you drew it up, but a win is a win.
Well, I'm really proud of our defense. We couldn't have won it without contributions on all 3 sides the second half. I thought special teams stepped up big. offense stepped up. But, you know, the bottom line, as a team, I mean, you know, we have trouble playing well 2 weeks in a row consistently, and we've got to overcome that. We've got to get better over the bowl period at that.
Can you just talk about playing in this stadium, this atmosphere with this many fans?
Well, the stadium's great, and our fans are great. There ain't nothing wrong with that. You know, it's like Pogo Possum said, you know, we've met the enemy's us. We have to be more disciplined. We have to play and not be just kind of one-hit wonders. I'm glad we got out of here, but all the credit to Baylor because they played harder than we did the first half for sure.
All right, Mike, thanks for the time. We appreciate it. Nothing like hearing the philosophies of Mike Leach after a game. Gentlemen, back up to you. Thank you. Here with Elvis Andrus. And Elvis, first Major League home run. The smile on your face pretty much said it all. How good did that feel?
Well, you know, yeah, I feel good right now. My first home run, the big league, and it feels great.
When you saw where it went in the bullpen, did you see who got a hold of it?
Oh yeah, T. Garden got that ball. He already told me when we're in the on-deck circle, and you know, it's a nice experience, and I feel great because we won tonight.
When you look at this process and what you've been through and how long you've waited to get here, you're very young, but I know you've been dreaming about this for a long time. How does it feel to start realizing these dreams and be fitting in a pretty, you know, high-pressure situation?
Well, you know, it's good, you know. I got a really good treatment with my teammate and the manager and all the front office. You know, they give me the opportunity to spring training. And, you know, it's a challenge for me, but, you know, I love the challenge. And I know, you know, that I got to working hard this year. It's going to be a tough year for me. But I know if I working hard, you know, good things will happen.
Is it important for you in these first couple of games that you have been so strong because just to give yourself a little bit more confidence and the fact that you can do this?
It is. You know, with the games, you know, I'm going to still, you know, feel better and better. I feel, you know, sometimes.
Oh, Elvis! Welcome to the big league, sweetie.
Thank you.
We'll let you go clean up, Elvis Andrus. Thank you very much. Elvis Andrus with the Major League treatment. His first Major League home run tonight, guys. Back to you.
Every once in a while, an opportunity comes along that you just can't pass up.
Hi, girls. I'm Emily.
Regardless of how unqualified one may be for said opportunity, which is exactly what happened when I got the chance to be a ball girl for the Rangers. The biggest victim in all of this, outfielder Milton Bradley.
All right, well, Milton, I don't know if you've been made aware, but this is my debut, my actually first and only appearance as the Texas Rangers ball girl. Your feelings on that, since you will be playing right field and will be on the receiving end of my warm-up tosses in between innings?
I just have to take it easy when I throw because I throw kind of hard, so I don't want to hurt you.
Okay, now what about me? What kind of tips do you have for me?
Just, you know, lock your elbow in wherever you're throwing and let it go.
After I let Milton know what he was in for, it was time for me to get some words of advice and maybe even a little encouragement from the professionals.
Don't get in front of anything. Just don't get in front of it. Stay in front, stay down. Play everything the Ole style, to the side. You should be all right. There ain't bad hops come up there and bite you. Keep it on the side because I certainly wouldn't want to see you get hurt.
I'm hearing that a lot today. I will take it. I will definitely take that advice, Wash.
One more thing is watch the umpire. I don't want to see you pick up a ball and it be fair ball and you're fielding and
do not pick up a fair ball.
I did hear, if in doubt, don't touch it. Oh, I heard touch. How pissed would you be if I cost you guys a run or something by picking up a fair ball that was or foul ball that was fair?
If you dove, it'd be well worth the run. Yeah.
And so, armed with a wealth of knowledge from the clubhouse and some warm-up tosses from Joaquin Benoit and my fellow ball girls, I hit the field.
Also down the right field line tonight in the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th, FSN's Emily Jones, our honorary ball girl tonight.
The 4th and 5th innings were relatively uneventful.
Oh, Josh, you're so far away. I don't know if I can throw it that far. I got a thumbs up from Josh.
There was that slightly overthrown ball to Milton.
Over his head.
And some decent glove work on my part.
Got it.
But then in the 6th.
The 2-2 to Jamie Carroll. A sock down the right side, foul. Watch out, Emily Jones. Did it hit her? I didn't even see. No, you're cool? All right, I'm good.
I'm all right.
really had to show some good athletic ability to get out of the way of that ball. She did the exact same thing I would have done as duck.
And duck I did, hitting the fetal position in record time, which garnered mixed reviews from the clubhouse.
You did exactly what you were supposed to do, get out the way. Did a good job.
You know, you scoop the thing up and kind of wear it to the side. That was good. I probably would have done the same thing.
I seen a line drive kind of go in the stands, and all I see was like this. I'm like, ball's not even close. But you know what? It's all right. You hung in there. I was glad. I seen you out there. I seen you playing catch. It wasn't the prettiest sight, but it'll do.
And now, in my defense, there was one that came literally like inches from my head.
The gloves that catch the ball.
But listen, I wasn't sure if it was fair or foul, so I was erring on the side of caution.
There you go. I mean, that's good. I wouldn't want you to grab a fair ball.
Smart play.
It was smart. And if I had to rate you today, I could give you a C+.
Thanks, Gerald. That's passing. Did you see the one that came about this far from my head?
Yeah, that was the one. That's the perfect dive ball right there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you come with a black eye, like I said, you get street cred for that.
Street cred.
Yeah.
Do I get any kind of street cred for hitting the fetal position within less than 2 seconds?
None whatsoever. Oh, so maybe next time.
So my fielding needs a little work, but what about my throwing? Oh, grounder.
You made a good effort. I mean, if you go out there, take the ball, and try to make it happen, you went out there to do what you could. So, I mean, all power to you.
For the record, I only overthrew you once. Now, I did have you diving all over the place, but I only overthrew you one time, didn't I?
The last inning, you were good. You know, you were right there with us. So you came with got your release point down.
Sorry.
You made a couple good throws. You're on your feet, so it's. I got to give you a B+.
You know, I was glad to see you out there. Glad to see you trying. As a professional player, we have to make adjustments not only with the pitchers, but our ball girls. And just a minor adjustment we made to it, and it looked pretty good.
And who knows, maybe I did enough to earn another invite to the outfield. Ladies, thank you very much. Well, Dirk, you just said it. You were horrible to start this game, but stuff started falling. You came around, hit the shot that sent it into overtime, and then ultimately hit the shot that won it.
Yeah, I mean, we really had not much going. Jet wasn't really shooting the ball well, and as a whole, I thought we had really nothing going. So, I had to stick with it, even though I wasn't really feeling it early. Missed a lot of good looks, one dribble pull-ups that I usually got to make. So. But hey, for this team, especially with Josh sitting out again this one, I have to keep coming, I have to shoot. And it was definitely a volume shooter today, but I'm just happy a couple of them went in at the end.
Thank you very much. Here with Jason Kidd, and 4 games, 5 nights. You've been pretty outstanding in all of them. Not bad for an old man, huh?
Yeah, it's important. We had, after the All-Star break, we had 30 games left, and being a veteran ball club, understand what's at stake, so it's time to, the dress rehearsal's kind of over, now we got to get serious.
A little bit of history for both teams tonight as the Dallas Mavericks shoot a franchise record 80.6% from the field in the first half and go on to rout the New Jersey Nets 117-101 to hand the Nets their 18th straight loss to open the season. That is a dubious distinction now owned by those New Jersey Nets. And Ro, we talked about it being a trap game going in, and the Mavs did not fall into the trap.
Well, it's a good game to be played. It's exactly what should have happened.
It was a big boost for us and got us over the hump tonight.
Marty, congratulations on the win. We appreciate the time. Marty Turco, the winning goalie. What a performance tonight, guys. We're going to continue to get some more post-game reaction from the Dallas Stars as they take this series 4-2. Back out to you.
As the reigning MVP of the NBA, who better to talk a little golf than Dirk Nowitzki, right? Okay, maybe it's a stretch, but we did find Dirk on a golf course, and to me, that's a story in itself.
I do have some new clubs, though, custom fit.
How long are they? Like 5 feet long?
Yeah, they're long, but they haven't really treated me that well. I think I got to get used to them a little more, and then once I do, it's going to be scary.
Lights out. Look out. Tiger Woods. Dirk, here comes Dirk. How much did you get to work on your game in the offseason?
I'm not huge on golfing. I think I'm still a little too young and too active for golfing. I think that's something you do when you're later and you can't really work out that much anymore. But I played like once this summer, so it's not like I worked a lot on my game.
Who's the best golfer on the team?
I don't know about all the new guys. I think Avery is actually pretty good. Who else is decent? I think Devin Harris got into it a little bit in the last couple of summers, and he's playing a lot.
I just saw his shot. It's not. It's not.
No,
it's not
it's
good.
nothing. No. Okay.
It's all right.
No, you know, other than that, I haven't really seen a whole bunch. I remember Bradley a couple years ago, and his clubs were like so long, but he was actually decent. So, but other than that, I haven't really watched a lot of guys.
So are golfers athletes?
I guess so. I don't mean. I mean, you can play it till you're old. So I mean, but it's still an athletic sport. But it doesn't. You know, it doesn't take a lot. You don't have to be in shape and stuff. So it's a good sport to do when you're older.
Dirk, thanks so much for your time.
Oh, thanks for having me.
It's always so nice. Chats with Dirk are just great. I've been missing him in the off season. It's good. It's good for basketball season to be back.
Yes, definitely. So I'm looking forward to it.
I know you've missed these talks.
Absolutely. You know, I had this like talk to myself this summer, and I really gotta be more vocal, and I want to be out there more, and so this is great.
It's a great start for you.
Absolutely.
All right. I'm always here if you need to talk.
Sounds good.
My chat with Dirk soon turned into a competition in the form of a long drive contest with a little friendly wager on the line.
No post game.
No.
All season long.
It's not part of the bet.
Actually, no interviews with you after practice whatsoever. All season long. That's it. Love it.
You're in. Dirk went first and didn't set the bar too terribly high.
No.
However, it was apparently too high for me.
Nice.
Dirk, no more interviews.
Yes, no more interviews. That's awesome.
That was big.
Poor Fox.
Big.
What are they going to do?
Never ever interview.
But isn't there such thing as a mulligan in golf? I mean, I hadn't even warmed up and I was in high heels.
Oh, you should have done that first.
Where was that?
Why was that on the money ball? I guarantee she could beat you, Dirk. Nick Fazekas is 2 foursomes up.
They can't handle pressure, the women.
Shut up.
So Dirk wins on a technicality. I guess they don't use mulligans in Germany. And I guess I'll be getting to know Nick Fazekas very well.
It's okay.
Oh well.
See you next summer.
Nick's a really friendly guy.
Have a great season.
You'll like it.
Good talking to you.
Good talking.